Good evening, and how's everybody doing tonight? You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. I'm Steve Thompson, and with me is my son Sean Thompson, and we're coming to you live from the Riverside Country Club on Rossay Road in Rossay, New Brunswick. How's it
And
going, Sean?
very good, Stephen,
Yep.
and a vital game on our feature sheet tonight. Andrea Crawford's ranked 3-0, looking to secure a place in the playoffs and perhaps even the finals, going up against Team Sharon Levesque, who at 0-3 is trying to stay alive in these championships.
There you go. And we're just going through some formalities here at the beginning of the game, and people have had their practices, thrown their last shot draws to decide who's closest to the button, who will have that last shot advantage in the first end.
And it will be Team Crawford with the hammer leading off. Team Crawford playing the Redstones here at Riverside. Yellowstone's going to Team Levesque. One of 3 games on ice for the third draw of the New Brunswick Scotties. Over on sheet 1, Sarah Millay will play Sylvie Quillen.
It's the fourth draw.
Fourth draw.
It's okay. No worries. Yep.
Both those teams are 2-1 and are playing for an advantage tomorrow. The winner of that game will be assured at least a tiebreak. And on sheet 3, Team Cousins takes on Team Como. Team Cousins trying to keep their championships alive. Team Como at 2-1, Cousins 0-3.
There you go. And Team Cousins is new to the field this year. A couple of, well, actually, 2 players on that team have been certainly active in the junior ranks over the years, and they're just kind of coming to that age of playing with the ladies. And so we'll see some. I'm sure we'll see some action from them over the coming years.
And with the handshakes and fist bumps, Taylor Devlin for Team Levesque climbs into the hack to get us underway.
There you go.
Draw number 4.
True enough, and she's just making some final adjustments to get started. Sharon's got her stopwatch at the ready here to see what kind of split she gets. And good form there. Looks like you're probably going to need to sweep this one, ladies, to get it to that close to that center line and close to the house. A nice tight center guard.
Yep. We've seen in this event so far, Stephen, the ice is pretty lively as that rock's taken away hogged.
Yep.
The ice is pretty lively until you get about 4 feet either side of the hog line.
Yep. Quite often. We've actually been remarking in league play, how often you can get a rock to the line but not over it. When someone throws a little bit light, it's that effort that you make to get it there, and it just seems that you can get 9 out of 10 of them to the line, but you can't get them over. Meanwhile, Team Crawford elects to bring their first shot into the wings and have succeeded in doing that.
Just about T-line.
T-line there, yeah. Sharon says, I think it needs to go away. And so we'll see what happens with the takeout here.
We'll often see teams at this level in a 10-end game, as these matches are, use the first end as a feeling out process.
Feeling out process, just see how the ice reacts, how the rocks react. And she's managed to make her hit there and roll just a little bit to the outside of the 12. Sometimes that can be an aggravator at the end of the end.
I think even more important, see how the other team reacts.
Well, there's that.
Both these teams get their 10 minutes of practice before the game on this sheet. Michelle Barclay with the takeout attempt. They get their 10 minutes of practice.
Yep.
They'll have an idea of what the ice is. They've probably curled on the sheet before, as we're into draw number 4.
There you go. True enough. Katie's just made her takeout with her second shot there. And it seems like we're playing cat and mouse on this right-hand side flank of the 12-foot. and we'll see what goes on from there.
This is Michelle Barkley.
Yep.
Solitary sweeper here.
Yep, they're trying to move it in a little bit because they want that rock to hang around. It's
Just bite.
just biting. Yep. You can see the crew here just trade hits all this end and make it what some folks at home would refer to as a boring end and blank the whole thing here. But to gain some valuable knowledge about what the ice surface is doing and how the other team is throwing. Now on this one,
Hit and roll full 12.
Full 12 there for Jill's first shot. Sharon does not hesitate to put the broom down and say, okay, we're going to do that. Let's do that.
Team Levesque, 3 losses for the championship so far. Lost the first game to Sylvie Quillen, 5-4. And then a pair of 8-2 losses against Team Malay and Team Como.
Right. These are key, Sharon's not someone to be left out in this
Just pick
event.
that out and lose the shooter.
Yep. She often, she has a younger team with her this time around, but a force to be reckoned with when you hear her name at the seniors. It's usually there's a little bit of trepidation going into a game against her for sure.
And we've seen the pattern really over the last couple of decades of an experienced skip taking on a less experienced but young and athletic front end.
Yep.
To try to make a deep run in these championships. A good corner guard there.
True enough.
For Team Crawford.
Yep.
I think that trend started really with Randy Furby.
True enough.
The old hand out of Alberta, 4-time Brier champion in the early 2000s.
There you go.
He won a couple of Briers playing front end for Team Pat Ryan and the Ryan Express in the 80s before coming back with David Nedowin and that great front end. Just peeling away the guard.
And then rolling to the far side wing. They seem to know something about that side of the ice. Is there a little tricky spot there that one can end up running straight, or that it can, if it's just a little bit inside, it might curl a bit more than is typical?
Well, where they are, it's just on the fringe. It's about 4 or 5 feet out from the center line.
Yep.
This is a hit here for Jennifer Armstrong.
Yep. And she's going to make this hit without any question.
Right on the beak.
Yep. Just maybe a little bit to the right-hand side, but still. They're testing out that right-hand side of the ice, and we'll see what goes on from there.
Michelle Majot, third for Team Levesque. Her second of the end.
Yep. No stranger to New Brunswick curling, Michelle is.
Sweeper's called right off.
Right off, yeah.
They'll get the hit.
And stick.
Just biting the rings, it looks like.
Yep.
Very tight indeed. And Jennifer Armstrong being asked to hit.
That's a true statement right there, Sean.
Team Crawford 3-0. And 3 decisive victories as well. 9-2 over Team Como in the opener. 10-3 over Team Cousins last night. And then this afternoon against Team Malay, 12-6 victors. They are the defending champions.
Yes.
Last year was Andrea Crawford's first year back after several years in Germany.
That's true.
With her family.
Yep. And Andrea's a civilian working with the military, so she had a position in Germany for the last several years. Recently, within the last year or so, came back to New Brunswick, lived in St. John for a while, and I believe now she's moved back to the Fredericton area, but still calls Thistle St. Andrews in St. John her home club for this year.
Sharon Levesque looking to put a rock in the house.
Yep.
Without the hammer, she might be trying for the cheeky steal or to force Crawford to take a single point and lose the hammer.
She'd be looking for the force here, I think, Sean.
And a hard sweep here from Barclay and Devlin.
Yep. They're making sure that it gets there. And they got kind of fooled on a couple of shots early in the end. They want to make sure that they're not coming up short. It's incumbent on your sweepers to know the weight which your curler is throwing.
And they'll get it top of the
Yep.
forefoot.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think it. No, it's not quite on the button.
Nope. It's full four, but doesn't have a piece of the button, I believe, is what it looks like from here.
Full
Anyway.
four got a. From our overhead shot, I saw, or our side shot, about a foot away from the button.
There.
Andrea Crawford now coming down for her first.
Yep. Takes a moment, climbs into the hack, as you say, Sean.
Yep.
Makes it sound like an excavation, like we're climbing a hill. But
Crawford, a former national junior champion. Won the event when it was in Fredericton.
they traveled a long distance to play in that, didn't they?
Indeed.
They did, indeed.
Solid nose hit there.
Yep.
Bit of
Roll to
roll.
the side, yep. Michelle doesn't waste any time walking up to say, okay, let's just see what we can do about blanking this end.
The other thing about playing an open first end, it keeps more time on your clock. Each team has 38 minutes of thinking time. You can add to that 2 1-minute timeouts.
Yes.
The thinking time ends when the rock crosses the near tee.
Yep.
This is Sharon's second stone, trying to hit and stay around, really finishing at the end.
Yep. And this one looks like it's going to roll all the way through.
It does.
Yep.
Right out of play. And will leave Andrea Crawford with the easiest shot in the book.
Yep. I expect that she'll be looking to make sure this does not stop in the rings. Maintain hammer here, I believe, but
Yep.
we'll make sure. There we go, and we just had a visit from our provincial ice maker there, Chris Tapley, who's been here most of the week prepping the ice as he does for the 2 major provincial events that we hold each year. The
Final shot, end number 1.
Scotties. This looks like it's a little more than draw weight, Sean. What do you think?
As I said, easiest shot in the book.
That's right. That's right.
Throw it through the house to blank the first end.
There you go.
No score through 1. Andrea Crawford retains the hammer against Sharon Levesque going into the second end at the 2020 New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
There.
The 2020 New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts is brought to you by Kruger Products and its Scotties facial tissue brand.
There you go.
By Papa John's Pizza,
Yes.
Sims Home Hardware, and the province of New Brunswick.
There you go. Be in this place. Where is this place, Sean?
They scrapped that motto
Oh,
about
did they?
8 years ago.
Oh, wait. I'm a little behind the times. It's still on the license plate. Singular.
Still on your license plate.
There we go. We're into end number 2, Sean, and it's great to be here with you at the Riverside Country Club to provide commentary for this, the 2020 Scotties Tournament of Hearts for the province of New Brunswick. Our lead on Sharon Levesque's team is called to draw a tight center guard, and it looks like she's just maybe overthrown it. We can't say the sweepers overswept it because they never laid a broom to the ice.
Katie forward now in the hack for Team Crawford. Lead of Team Crawford. Been curling for 16 years out of Curl Moncton this year. She's a nursing student, her final year of the Bachelor's of Nursing, twice a New Brunswick champion in these Scotties.
Very good. Very good. So she's made the hit, and she's rolling comfortably at a play there, leaving the house empty. Very good. Now let's see who else. We have some other bios here, Sean. I think we do.
They're behind. Taylor Devlin for Team Levesque, the lead in the hack now. 14 years curling experience. Came to New Brunswick in the Capital Winter Club in Fredericton out of Manitoba, where she was a fixture in the junior ladies scene before moving out east. Currently employed by the City of St. John as a community developer and recreation programmer.
Ooh, there.
And this one, again, a little heavy.
Again, she comes into the house. So it seems like if we were at a club closer to the water, which we are fairly close, but you'd wonder the effect of the tide, and is it out or in? It seems the ice is running a little quicker in the second end coming home.
Talk to us about the importance of the free guard zone, Stephen.
So we have the 5 rock rule, and that is an up the ante, if you will, from the 4 rock rule that began in the 1980s, and the design there is to reduce the number of blank ends that happen in a game, because you have a number of rocks that have to be thrown that can be untouchable, if you will, or not removable, I guess is the key word there, during the first 5 rocks being thrown in the end.
The Crawford stone did not leave the house.
Nope, it's hanging around. But,
so Team Levesque trying to make it leave the house here.
Oh, yeah, and they're just going to do that. And Andrea making sure that the shooter also rolls out of play.
Hack now for Team Crawford. Second, Jill Babin, curling for 25 years out of Fredericton's Capital Winter Club. She's a chiropractor and is looking for her 6th New Brunswick Scotties title. Won 5, 2010, 11, 12, 17, and 19.
There you go. Jill grew up in Dalhousie, New Brunswick, daughter of the late Michael and Belinda Babin. And I believe she has a younger brother.
I think you may
also
be right.
a curling powerhouse. And he's currently in Western Canada as a Mountie, or a policeman at least.
Michelle Barkley for Team Levesque, who we'll see in a moment as the draw is indicated. Michelle Barkley, 15 years a curler, her 2nd ladies provincial appearance, currently employed as a policy advisor for the Office of the Official Opposition in New Brunswick.
And sweepers are indicating there's plenty of weight on this shot, which wouldn't seem to be what the actual call was there on behalf of Sharon, but that's okay. We're getting used to what draw weight is like in the second end. The team spent the first end basically feeling out what hit weight was like, what the rocks would do at that normal takeout speed.
The result there, a shot that moved a little faster than the speed of government, as goes the stereotype.
True that. You know, glaciers move faster. Certainly icebergs do.
Babin's 2nd shot is Jill Babin.
Yep. This one looks a little warm too. Probably going to hang out around the tee line or further back.
Can they get that tuck around? That's what they're looking for.
Well, a little bit hot on the delivery, so it leaves it kind of open here.
Yep. You might want to know what's going on the other sheets, and it is open.
Yep.
They're going to come down to it with Michelle Majot's first rock.
True enough.
Over on sheet 1, Sylvie Quillen gets a single point in the first end. That's a 1-0 lead, Quillen over Malay.
There.
And on sheet number 3, I'll tell you that in a moment.
Yep. It appeared that Como got the deuce in the first end there to lead Karen Cousins 2-0 after one end.
And Barclay and Devlin trying to hold the line, but they aren't going to get by the corner guard.
Nope.
First real mistake
Yep.
we've seen either team make. And it looks like Andrea wants to take advantage of it, putting another rock behind that yellow stone.
Yes.
This is Jennifer Armstrong getting ready to throw. Jennifer Armstrong, 20 years a curler, out of the Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John. She's a chartered professional accountant and business analyst for J.D. Irving Limited, and an extensive resume at the junior level and 2 Scotties championships.
Yep. Jennifer, no stranger to the ice here at Riverside either, for that matter. But currently hangs her hat at Thistle St. Andrews in the city. And they brought that rock down to be a bit of an ankle biter for Sharon. What do I do now, she says. How do I manage to get to this? Sharon says, well, let's get rid of this guard. Even though it's ours, I think it's causing us more grief than it's worth.
Well, even if she noses it, I think she has a play. Michelle Majot delivering her stone. 25 years a curler. Represented New Brunswick at the Travelers Club Championships in 2016.
Yep.
Employed by IGT as a senior quality assurance manager. And quality enough on that peel.
There you go. Job one got done. And the shooter was rolled to not be covering Andrea's rocks any longer, which is ultimately the prime objective of that shot.
Andrea Crawford, though, now with the chance to split the house, it looks like. Oh, no, they're...
Nope, she's going to stick one up top of there and just line those up, so it makes it that much tougher to remove anything. Looking to ensure her deuce in the second end, or possibly more, depends.
That's a hard sweep here.
Yep, but these are capable sweepers. These young ladies spend a fair amount of time in the gym, I would say, and that's the general kind of modus for most of the competitive curling world here. They spend a certain amount of time at the gym, most of the teams anyway. Not all of them, but you know.
Sharon Levesque, that guard takes away the hidden stick on the rocks in the house.
Yep, they're having a discussion about where to put the broom and where exactly she wants to hit this rock that's out in front to hopefully move at least one of those 2 rocks that's in the house and hopefully spill the what's now sitting as a guard out of the rings as well.
Sharon Levesque from the Gage Golf and Curling Club in Oromocto. 30 years curling experience. Gone to 4 national championships. And is currently employed at the Dr. Everett Chalmers Hospital in Fredericton as a nurse with the psychiatry department.
There.
Her first stone, event number 2.
Good. And she's making sure she throws some decent weight here. And they're ensuring one sweeper is trying to hold the line on this one and keep it from over curling. And they're certainly going to make the rock move.
Won't play on the house.
Didn't quite work on moving anything in the house.
Now I know Andrea, she's talking with Jennifer Armstrong now. She did look at splitting the rings.
Yep.
With Jennifer's second.
Yes, and Jennifer is suggesting that they do that now. So we'll see what the call ends up being. I think
that is the call.
Is it? Yeah, yep. It is. And high with a piece of the 8-foot on the opposite side of the house is what they're looking for there.
Andrea Crawford sliding down, been curling for 27 years. You name an elite level championship she's been able to play in New Brunswick, she's won it at least once. Also, as I mentioned, the 2005 Canadian Junior Champion. That was in Fredericton. Won a bronze medal at the subsequent World Championships. Employed as a manager, staff of non-public funds, the Canadian Forces at CFB Gagetown. And a very special hello to anybody in the Canadian Forces who happens to be watching this evening.
There you go. Many of those folks, especially our local crowd from the Gagetown base, will be spending some time in Newfoundland learning the art of snow blowing and shoveling, helping out the folks over there who've been bound in by the snow, for sure.
And our thoughts go out to all those, especially on the Avalon Peninsula, who have been making do with the state of emergency over the past week. It's almost over, guys.
Yep.
First shot for Andrea Crawford.
She's looking to bring this in. It looks a little warm. The sweepers are watching it. Katie's looking to try to get it to move a little further out to the wing. Looks like it's probably going to be back 12 at this stage of the game.
It will finish, and it's
back
going
8.
to settle just behind the tee line,
Just
about a
behind
foot
tee,
behind.
Yep. Certainly takes away the double across house there, because that's pretty well flat. Still, Sharon is looking at, says, okay, I'll take a little more ice than I did the last time, and we'll see how things go here to double off 2 of the 3 counting rocks for the Crawford team at this point.
Sharon Levesque.
Yep, getting a little love from her teammate down there, a little support there. Always good to have that in a game at high stakes like these are, when it comes to the provincial championship to go to the National Scotties. And of course that's going to be in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, February 15th to the 23rd.
Looking for a double takeout here.
Yep. Oh, she's trying for the triple.
Triple's not on.
Triple's not on, you don't think?
No.
And Michelle has got the hand up. She says, I don't know, but she's got the double for sure.
Yep.
But sits counting number 2 and open. Andrea, I think, will elect.
She just needs to draw for her last shot for
Yep.
2, and that's all she's going to do.
Yes.
Draw a full 8 foot with backing.
True that, and she's making, she should be drawing here because she'll need that draw weight in her pocket later in the game, I'm sure. Always good to have that, and always good to be able to practice it in the game with less pressure than you might have in the 9th or 10th end.
Final stone, second end. Andrea Crawford drawing for 2.
There you go.
Babinen forward on the brooms.
Yep, they're making sure here. They're working it. It's going to get here, not a problem. They're just making sure. Doing their diligence, as it were.
Screams
they'll
of
make
hard.
Sure. Yep, and they've
well worked.
Certainly made that happen, and lined up with the backing so that if they had been firm, they would have still stuck around for 2 points there.
And it is 2 points for Team Crawford, and a 2-0 lead after 2 ends over Sharon Levesque.
Yes.
This is the 2020 New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts on 360 Media, powered by Bellline TV1.
There you go. All right, we've just been handed some stats here after 2 ends of play. The Team Crawford is currently at 91%. Have Katie Forward as 88%. Jill Babin is also at 88, as is Jennifer Armstrong. And our skip here, Andrea Crawford, has thrown at 100%. And Team Levesque, the lead is 63%. The second there is throwing at 50%. Mate at 69, and Sharon is picking up the back end at 81% for an overall team percentage of 66%.
Still fairly early in the game, though.
Team stats brought to you by Adib Saman. He's not with any accounting firms that I'm aware of. Thanks, Adib, for providing those up to the end, up to the minute stats.
Crawford bringing play straight into the house.
Yep.
With the first rock. Taylor Devlin asked to put up a corner guard. The conventional play.
Yes, in order to make sure that they have an option to get multiple points in the end. When you have the hammer, you like to score 2. Take 2, give 1. Isn't that how that works, Sean?
That's how you'd like to play it.
Well, yeah. We've seen some variations on that theme over the years, I'm sure. But generally speaking, our friend the mathematician would tell us that would be the way things should go for success in the game.
Katie forward.
There you go.
Looking to guard up.
Yep.
That
This
stone
one
in the house.
Looking a little brisk here. If anything, it's going to be sitting almost welded to it.
It is turning sharply. Will it
Yes,
overcurl?
It's cutting. It's certainly. No, that's going to be pretty well lined up and difficult for Sharon to do much with the rock that's scoring position right now. But
there's a double there.
there is, yeah. The guard on the front makes it a little trickier, but she's going after it, and they're both in the house, so they're free game as far as looking to take them out. And Sharon wants to establish her spot here.
Jill Babin lining herself up.
Yep.
Strong kick out of the hack.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's going to turn it over just a little bit there, but I think she'll be all right. And this shows the experience of the skip and the amount of time she's spent with her team. Knows the idiosyncrasies of delivery of each of their players. Saw that this one has a tendency to perhaps turn the rock in on that turn a little bit. Gave her just that smidge more ice. This is one of the talents of skips at any level, but certainly you notice it more at these levels.
Strong stone there from Jill Babin. Sweepers indicating it is a hit.
It is. You know, we're trying to hold the line here so as not to lose the shooter.
And that
we're maintaining control of the center line there as well. So
very close to the house.
That I would say is in the house, Sean.
Looking at our camera angle,
maybe not quite.
I'd be tempted to get the 6-foot stick out.
Oh, hell, there you are. Good enough for that.
But Sharon Levesque looking to make that irrelevant. Michelle Barclay's first stone of the end.
Yep. Sweeper looking to hold the line there so it doesn't overcurl. Wouldn't hurt their feelings any to be a little bit rolled behind, but they make the fairly close to nose hit there and don't roll at all.
On sheet 3, a big second end for Team Cousins. They take 4 in end number 2 and jump out to a 4-2 lead on Team Como. Team Cousins looking for their first win to stay alive in these championships.
Watch this one. This shot, probably not going to be disappointed to roll a little bit with this one.
And we'll get the roll.
Yep.
Are they touching paint,
Still don't know if they're touching the paint.
I don't think they are, but
nope.
No.
Nope.
About a foot and a half short of the house.
There.
So now we can see Michelle Barclay's draw skills.
Yep. What's happening over on sheet 1 there, Sean? I think I see a single point for Team Quillen in the second end as well.
Yep, a steal of 1 to take a 2-0 lead. Team Malay retaining hammer in the third. That's what they're playing now.
Very good. Very good. this rock looking a little firm here from the second of...
Andrea coming to make sure.
Yep. Working that out through the back door.
And the house is empty.
Yes. Sweepers felt a little helpless on that one. One thing that you and I make sure we do in their league play is involve the sweepers in every shot. Make sure they've got something to sweep and a reason to sweep. And here we are. Now we've got Jennifer Armstrong ready to, looks like probably draw behind cover here, do you think, Sean?
That is the call.
Yep.
Andrea was indicating she liked the way the two guards are lined up.
Yep.
It makes a takeout if you're behind there pretty hard.
Yep.
No run back the way the stagger is.
Yep.
But they got to get by this back guard.
And they are. It's just a matter of getting by.
They got to tuck it now. Beautiful.
Yes, nice shot. There is some room there, so Sharon certainly has an option to draw down. She's indicating backline weight for this shot and feels that it'll move just enough there to tap that rock back.
Yep, no need to throw the haymaker.
Nope.
Michelle Majot's first rock at the end.
And they're on this right out of her hand. They worry about it over curling, which it looks like it's going to do. Crash onto the guard on the front there, the front yellow guard. But rolls on to the open side.
And it removes that stagger. Granted, you're not running back your own stone in that case.
True enough that. Hey, Sean, guess what? There are under 1 million fans listening to us tonight.
Go figure.
And some of them are as far away as Florida. Go figure that out. Shout out to Belinda Lidstone Babin, who's watching the broadcast live. And we appreciate those viewers at home.
And Jennifer Armstrong will make this hit right on the nose practically.
Absolutely. Yep. Not a problem. Now what's Sharon going to think about this? Thinking the double might be possible there, and it certainly is.
Yeah, there is the angle there. It's not the easiest double.
Nope.
But it is makeable.
It sure is. And I think at this caliber of curling, this would be a relatively routine and practice shot.
Michelle Majot looking to catch the inside.
Yeah, looks like she's going to catch nose. And oh, no, she'll get some inside.
How much of a roll?
Oh,
over the top.
Rolled over the top. Just kind of ticked the rock of Crawford there to the tee line. Making it a little tougher behind cover.
Shot stone sticks around, and Andrea Crawford, she's calling her first rock, looking to hit and roll herself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Andrea Crawford, if you've seen her through the week, I should say, has seemed pretty well at ease, given the comfort of her team's victories. More than understandable.
Right. And there's a key to that. Like, there's certainly psychology involved in this game. Yes, it's high stakes, but it's how do you deal with that pressure? And often teams at high or elite performance levels they'll have a coach for technical, and they'll also have a coach for psychology, a sports psychologist.
Trying to hold the line here.
And I think they're making it happen. The question,
oh no.
Ooh.
Rare miss from Andrea Crawford.
May have overswept that one, actually, because if they'd let it roll out just a little bit, like let it curl out, then it would have made that shot. The worry there, of course, is that you could end up kicking across and losing your rock on the 4-foot line.
And you mentioned when we were playing the first end that can be a bit of a tricky spot, hanging on the wings.
Sure can.
Right now, Michelle Majot asked by Sharon Levesque to throw the same rock but better.
Okay, the Sharon's throwing the rock here, Sean. Michelle's down there holding the broom. We're at Skip Stones here. And Sharon lets this one go. Michelle is intently watching.
So are the sweepers.
The sweepers say it's got lots of weight.
Starting to move.
They're looking to encourage it to move here, so it just sneaks by that front guard and makes enough contact with Andrea's rock there to...
But the shooter rolls too far, and Crawford's still sitting 1.
Go figure that.
Crawford full 12-foot.
Yeah. And the other 2 rocks are a half a rock on 12 at best, or 2/3.
Yeah. If you were Andrea Crawford here, Stephen, what would you do?
Without the hammer?
Without the hammer.
Well, you're looking to hold her to 1. So she's going after the shot at the back.
This will be a nose hit.
Yep.
Seems like a sound call.
Yep. Well, you go after the low-hanging fruit, as it were. Make sure there's risk involved with trying to take that yellow rock on the right, and not really much benefit to doing that. You're out counting it, but you want to take away the backing that's there for Sharon on her last stone. This rock you designed to hit and roll out yourself.
Some sweeping here.
Yep.
From
Encouraging
Babin.
this.
They can't get the nose.
Nope, they didn't want the nose. They wanted to hit and roll out. So now that leaves Sharon with a cold draw. Mind you, she just needs full 12.
They're looking at the hit.
They're looking at the hit. I don't know why you would do this, but I'm not out there and you're not out there, right?
I'll tell you the reason why you do that. If you're able to get to the nose of that, it would give you 2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That would tie things up.
Right, but she can draw a full 8 for 2 here too, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, as we discussed in the previous end, you want to have those opportunities for draw early in the game to get your draw weight down and know that you can draw the 4-foot or the button.
I have to think she
when
has
necessary.
to make this shot.
Yep. And she will.
We've seen Team Crawford be very stingy with points.
True enough, but Team Crawford has no say in what's happening with this shot at this point. And this looks a little warm on Sharon's part, but we'll see. She's not new to the game. The girls are on it now, so.
Barclay and Devlin,
on and off. That's good. On and off. It's going to be good.
This
not
needs
an issue.
a nibble of the 8.
Yep, and she's got that. She's going to be down to that button zone, which is opportunity there for them. So after 3 ends, this game is now tied at 2.
No, it's not. It's only 1.
It's only 1? Oh,
You've
tricky.
got your own entry in the blooper reel.
There you go. I'm sure there'll be more than one of them before the night's out, Sean.
Andrea Crawford
Yep.
sees her lead halved. Levesque gets a single and 3, 2-1 the score. Crawford retaining the hammer in 4, or gaining the hammer in 4.
Yep, regaining the hammer even. How about that?
This is the 2020 New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
You're Sean Thompson and I'm Steve Thompson. No accident there.
And this telecast is brought to you by Scotties Facial Tissues.
There you go.
Papa John's Pizza. Better ingredients, better pizza.
Papa John's.
And Sims Home Hardware.
There you go. Owned by not the Sims family in Fredericton, by the way. There you go.
4th end getting set. I think both teams will come in come into this end knowing they want to throw better than in the last end. There were a few poor misses, uncharacteristic misses.
True, but that often is what tells the tale in a game at the end of the whole production. Is sometimes it's not always the shots that are made, but the shots that are missed. The combination thereof. So, yep.
Solid guard from Taylor Devlin.
Right. Andrea says, "Come on in to the 4-foot behind that nice center line guard."
Katie Forward, the only lefty on the sheet tonight.
There you go. Never hurts to have a lefty on your team. There's just that little bit difference in perspective on some of these shots.
Alternating sweepers.
Comes in handy on the clockwise shot, I'll tell you, because you've got that extra foot, really.
I'll tuck it in about half buried.
Yep. Just enough to tempt Sharon. She says we'll come around all of that and take full 4-foot.
Update from sheet 3 after the big 4 for Karen Cousins. Justine Como answers back with 3. And we're on our way to a football game on sheet 3. 5-4, the score through only 3 ends.
There you go.
Hard sweep here from
This one's
Taylor Devlin, Michelle
looking a bit
Majot.
What was supposed to be in the 4-foot is just into zone 1 here as a high guard. And that may be problematic for Team Levesque later in the end.
Probably the worst thing you can say about that shot is the line was good.
There it
no,
is.
Combined with the weight, not exactly a pro side miss.
No, but we'll
now
not focus on that.
They're moving on to the slow side, the straight side of the ice here. Team Crawford. They're trying to drag it out.
Yep. They'll bring it down closer to the house, but still, and sometimes you'll notice on a sheet there will be what we determine to be a slower side and a faster side, or at least it's perceived to be that way. Most often that's because there hasn't been as much play on that particular side of the sheet for whatever reason through the course of the game. And therefore there's a buildup of frost there, and the rocks tend to travel slower. It happens in every club across this great land.
Michelle Barkley asked to bring it into the house, hopefully straddle the center line.
Oh, and she's going to do that. One sweeper holding line. Michelle is, they're off it, they're on it. They're watching carefully here. This is going to end up coming in nicely, a little bit beyond the tee line, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's there for Andrea and her team to play with.
Absolutely. And she's going after it for sure. Says, give me about hack weight here, I think.
First stone of the end for Jill Babin. Just a little bump shot.
Just a little bump shot.
Sweeper's called on.
Just trying to hold the line, make sure they're by that front yellow guard first of all.
Control the movement.
Yep, and they certainly at this level are able to do that. They catch a piece of it. Katie's all over it, and they manage to get it out of the house. There you go. Shout out to our friend Dale Parkhill, who's at home watching online tonight. Just enjoying the commentary here from the newly named Thompson twins. Family duo here on the commentary this evening.
Michelle Barkley asked to put up the same shot, but again, it's looking hot. Sweepers, but spectators.
but spectators, and they're reluctant spectators at that. This one actually is better shot, as it's tucking, and it should stay. Yep, it's above the tee line. This is a little bit trickier to get to now. She'll probably have to draw down to this.
On sheet 1, Sylvie Quillen stole another 2 points in the third end, doubling her lead over Team Malay. 4-0 the score there. Sarah Malay still has the hammer playing the fourth. I think she is ready to get rid of it.
Often after you've kind of given up a few ends, you are feeling like the hammer is a curse.
Andrea Crawford having a look around.
Yep. So let's see what we need to do here. She's looking to make a double peel, I think, perhaps, or just seeing which of these rocks is causing her the most grief. And at this point, it doesn't matter what the color is. It's just what's holding her back from getting to the rock on the forefoot. Now, Jennifer comes down. They have a little discussion on things. It's times like this in the game that you're thankful that you played the first couple ends a little more quickly, so that you are not chewing up much of your thinking time. That 38-minute clock still runs as you consider the shots.
I think they're looking at pounding that top guard through, maybe
Yep.
get a double peel, maybe a triple peel.
Well, it's certainly going to move some granite here.
Big weight.
Big weight. Where's it going to hit that rock? It's going to be nose. That's good. One. And they've made a nice double.
Unfortunately, one of those rocks
were
their own in the top of the 12-foot.
Those are the chances you take and the prices you pay. You're going to play in the big league. Somehow I don't think that's one of the verses of that song, but anyway.
Michelle Majot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one's looking a little steamy, but this is the slower side of the ice in this end, we've noted. So.
Oh, you haven't seen much on the other side this end.
Nope. Starting to come over quite nicely. Need to bring it. And you want to leave this one a little bit higher, just in play in that top 12. Yep.
Comes in nicely.
There, and a precision shot here. Remove that center line guard. Could be another fancy run back business here for Jennifer. Certainly Andrea has not hesitated to call this shot. She's got all the confidence in the world in Jennifer's ability to make this shot.
Jennifer Armstrong's first.
Yep. Well,
that's a bust.
A little bit, yep, because you basically replaced the rock that was sitting there and didn't cause any other damage.
Yeah, you moved the guard about a foot forward.
Yep. Sharon says, okay, let's just close off that pathway and stick something on the top 12. A little bit of the Christmas tree going on here, I think, maybe in reverse.
Golden opportunity for the Yellowstones. Michelle Majot's second stone of the end.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get by that top guard, though.
They're by the top guard. I just don't know how deep they're coming.
They're close to the top guard. They're close to the top guard.
Well, it would seem they do get a little rub on it there. The weight on that one came off very quickly and perhaps caught the sweepers off guard just a little bit.
Andrea Crawford sees a slash double of the 2 stones in the house.
Yep. Says we want some normal weight here. We know that the line is, with that weight, is fairly straight. So. Jennifer resets, goes through her pre-shot routine as we all do before we shoot. Always important to do that.
Her second stone of the end.
Yeah. This one looks Gets cutting a little bit. Joe was off.
Babin.
Yep.
Now forward. Get the one and jam.
Yep. Well, that was the risk you take, right?
Risk you took, stuffed it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea Crawford will have to earn the skipper's points in this end.
True that. True that.
And Sharon Levesque looking to come around all that stuff in front.
Who's got the hammer in this end, Sean?
Team Crawford would
There
have
you
the
go.
hammer in
Yep.
this end. Sharon Levesque just looking to make life difficult here. A
Yep.
stone tucked behind those guards, top 8 foot,
Yep.
would suit.
So it would. Making it difficult for Andrea to get to, or more difficult.
Looks hot.
No, just stay with it, ladies. It's cutting across. You want to make sure that you don't go to sleep on it. And oh, that's good. Bring it in. Whoa, what are you doing? There we go. All right, she's practically welded that shot to the other one, sitting 2. Andrea says, how can I make this go away? She's checking.
Or how can you use the situation to your advantage?
Yep. Well, first she wants to clear up some of the confounders in the front, I believe is what she's up to.
I think
They're
she's
discussing whether or not to slash their tight guard on the left there into the house and possibly affect removal of both of the yellow stones. Andrea still seems to be looking at center line business here, and we'll see what's going on here in just a moment.
looking to hit and drive it back. I think you end up driving it back into that back yellow guard.
Uh-huh.
Which, while it would clean things up,
Yep.
it wouldn't leave you an opportunity for a blank or a deuce.
Yep. So they're discussing the merits and the demerits, if you will, of this particular shot.
And they do have their time.
Yep, they do.
They also have their 2 timeouts if they'd like to take one.
Yep, they've elected not to do that at this point, and Coach Daryl Nallen has wisely held his tongue and his desire to have a timeout in this particular situation. We're still fairly early in the game, and 2 timeouts could be made better use of later in the game.
And Ray Crawford's first stone.
Yep. Takes a little bit of skill here to.
They'll just get the top yellow.
Yep. Chasing that one, you're going to have a hard time effecting much change in the direction of the rock that's flying at breakneck speed, lest you break your neck while trying to sweep it.
And as Sharon Levesque is in the hack,
Yep.
Michelle Majot indicating a guard.
Exactly. You want something close to that center line, but
You got to have something blocking that center line.
that's right.
But it's quick. Sweeper's not touching it.
Nope.
Joe
This
Barkley, Taylor Devlin.
This is going to be in the house. It's going to be like locked on the rest of them, I think. There you go. This could be an interesting opportunity here. Well,
I don't think you can be too disappointed with the result.
No. Despite it being deeper, Andrea is looking to elect just saying, okay, I need to draw full 4. She does keep eyeing the potential of where do you hit that rock on the center line on the 8-foot to make all 3 go. At this juncture, I'm not sure.
I don't know if you can get enough to get rid of all 3.
Yeah, but if you hold her to 1, that's not a terrible thing.
True.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going to call. They're playing the percentages.
Yep, and using the math to their advantage. Playing the blank, says our statistician here in the peanut gallery.
Playing
The
damage.
The potential is there for this shot to be made, absolutely.
Playing damage control, I think.
Well,
Certainly, even with the tightness of the guard, Andrea probably feels this is the more comfortable shot
yep.
than a cold draw without backing and with stuff in front.
There you go.
Final stone and number 4.
Yep. Got to do this to get by that. She's by that front guard. Nope. Yep.
Yeah. Got them both moving and only give up the 1.
Well, that was the goal there, and in spectacular style, she's made that happen. Take 2, give 1.
Another point for Sharon Levesque.
Yep.
Makes this game a 2-2 tie. Levesque and Crawford.
There we go. Continuing with the soccer score over on sheet 3. It would appear that Team Cousins picked up a deuce in the 4th end and now are on the upside of the scoreboard at 6-5.
I think that's officially a rugby score.
A rugby score. How many tries and
2 penalty goals against 1 unconverted try.
There you are. Can always depend on you to provide the color from another sport. All right. It seems like there's some timeout action happening over on sheet 1, where the score is fairly
Still
one-sided,
4-0.
4-0 for Quillen over Mallet.
And just to give you a reset of the standings, Team Crawford is 3-0. They have clinched at least a tiebreaker. A win will guarantee them a playoff spot, no questions asked. A win and a win for Team Malay over on sheet 1 will put Team Crawford into the final. Even if they could be caught, they would hold all the tiebreakers. That chasing pack at 2-1, Malay, Quillen, and Como. The winner of the Malay-Quillen game and Team Como, if they win, will be guaranteed at least a tiebreak. Cousins and Levesque, they need to win their games here tonight.
Yep.
They'll play each other tomorrow morning.
Right. With the loser of that game getting to go home.
Yeah. And the winner still needing a bit of help. They would need Team Como and the loser of Malay Quillen tonight to drop to 3 losses to force a tiebreak.
There. True enough. And back to 5th end action here at the Riverside Country Club in Rosslyn, New Brunswick. This is the 2020 Scotties Tournament of Hearts provincial tournament for the province of New Brunswick. We've got some up-to-the-minute stats there, Sean, after 4 ends of play. And
yeah. Taylor Devlin's second shot, he's throwing 78% through 4 ends. And we'll just make the clipper hit.
Yep.
Lose the shooter. Our opposite number, Katie Forward on Team Crawford in the hack now, curling 94% after 4. This one looking perhaps a little strong. Gentle brush there from Jennifer Armstrong. Jill Babin on it now. I don't think it'll turn as much as they like, but they will get a nibble at that button.
Yep. Full 4 foot there. Still wide open though.
Yep. Michelle Barkley curling 59% through 4 ends. But she's contributed mightily on the sweeping tonight. That's something percentages maybe can't measure.
It's true. Yep. And this one floated a little bit there.
Yeah, hit and
roll to the wing. Still in counting position.
Still in play.
Yep. Michelle Majot was worried that it was going to overcurl, so hit maybe a bit of a straight spot, or just, she overestimated how much it would turn.
Jill Babin's on 81% for Team Crawford, pretty darn close to the team score of 82%.
There you go.
And a good sweep here from Armstrong and Forward.
Yep. This rock seems to be taking a little walk across towards the center line, and they're making sure.
That's what they wanted to do.
Yep. You just want to sneak by that center line guard and then come to a rest somewhere in the 4 foot. This looks like it might be a little bit deeper than they were planning, but still pretty good. Back
button.
Yep.
Yep.
This leaves opportunity for Sharon Levesque's team to come down with a bit of a heavy draw and just kind of move that rock into probably the back 8, or just sit right on. Looks like with the line she's calling here might be more of a freeze type of situation.
Mentioned Team Crawford curling 82% through 4 ends. Team Levesque curling 77% in that same time.
Right. Yep. So tell me about percentages as far as the stats go here and how that can relate to
First, I want to
overall
see
playing
if
the
we
game.
get this by just papers.
Little rub there, so it doesn't end up.
Oh,
yep,
got the corner of it.
In good shape. She's on the corner, but didn't quite get the curl that she was hoping to be right on top of it.
We don't have the best camera angle here for just that corner of the button. It is very close. Who's first shot? Who's second?
True enough.
And just looking over at Treat 1 right now, again, before I answer your question, another steal of 1 for Quillen.
Yep.
5-0.
5.
Quillen leads Team Malay. Team Malay, I believe it's the last 3 years her rink has been runner-up in these provincial Scotties.
That's true.
Trying to get one step further this year.
Yep.
But needing to make up a lot of ground tonight.
This rock looked like it was curling a lot early, and then they were called off it because it seemed to stop curling, just hit the straight spot.
And they will move that off the button.
That they do. In doing so, they also move their own rock off the button. So
that was inevitable.
Yep.
And the end result is sitting 1.
Well, they sit 2 here, Sean, I believe.
I think that's a close run thing. Who's second shot?
Well, there you go.
I think it's hard to tell from our angle.
True enough.
This is Michelle Majot.
In any case, it looks like that.
Majot curling 81%.
Yep.
Out curling Jennifer Armstrong 81-69 through 4 ends. And will make the double.
She's made the double.
Double hit at least. Won't remove them both.
Nope, but changes the complexion of the end, that's for sure.
Yep, and leaves Team Levesque sitting 2.
Very good. Yep.
Jennifer Armstrong, as I mentioned, curling 69%.
Mm-hmm.
Had her struggles in the last end. Has the maturity and experience to put that behind her. This is a strong rock.
Yep. And it's thrown a little bit inside here, so and then it drifts out as they go down this sheet, which
Where
is
will
fine.
it roll?
And it rolls over on top. Oh, a little bit further over than maybe they want. But that's okay. It's still on the back forefoot.
Yeah.
But Sharon is quick to put the broom down and say it needs to go away.
And if Michelle Mageau noses this, they will collect the one at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Her second stone of the end.
Yep, she wants to just be a little on the outside of this one, but she's a little bit further outside because then this the shooter doesn't hang around. Ends up rolling out of play.
Like so.
Just as you've seen, exactly. All right. And this leaves an open hit. The matter is just what to call for weight. And she's managed that. I think we'll call this control.
Also, too, I guess, whether you want to nose it or get a little roll, try to get behind cover, whatever use that is.
Yep.
Jennifer Armstrong second.
Yep.
Close to nose.
Yep, and they've got nose for sure. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bella Light. I'm Steve Thompson, and with me is my son Sean Thompson, otherwise known as the voice of curling in New Brunswick, coming to you live from the Riverside Country Club in downtown Rothsay, New Brunswick.
So it's a hit on shot stone. That's Sharon Levesque's aim for her first rock at the end.
Yep.
Sharon curling 88% through 4 ends.
That she is. As she sets herself up, make sure she cleans the rock.
Saw her make some fine shots in the last end. Really helped seal the steel.
There you are. Never discount this team. Even though you think that
Well,
we're down.
They've been in every game they've played.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to have the nose here, just off. Marginal roll to sit one. Again, out in the open.
Yep.
Andrea Crawford has to be liking her chances of a deuce here.
That she does. That she does. I think they were hoping, Levesque was hoping for a bit of a roll to the center, but that didn't materialize for them, so here we are. Here we are.
Andrea Crawford on 84% shooting through 4 ends.
Yep.
Her first and 5. That's forward.
Mm-hmm.
Called off now. Drifting out.
This one could roll. Michelle's out there, attentive. And
no, it bites. The rock has teeth.
It's the double bite there, I think.
It still means Sharon Levesque. No, not the hit and hope.
Nope. There's discussion happening here.
Yep.
Oh, it says hit and hope. You're right, Sean.
Yep. Is a bit more of a conservative shot.
Yep. Well, it's important to make the shots that you're comfortable with.
True.
Let's just make sure on this one.
We'll be taking our 5th end break once this end is completed. As the players hard sweep here now, they got to keep the line.
Oh, this one
They
could be
got to
trouble.
keep the line. Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh no.
Uh-oh. Oh.
That is the opening Andrea Crawford has been waiting 5 ends for.
Yep. Needs a
Paint.
draw. Anything in paint gets her a 3.
She's drawing to a 12-foot button with her final stone.
Yep.
Andrea Crawford. Jennifer Armstrong holding the broom.
Yep.
Katie forward, on your left.
Mm-hmm.
Drill Babin on your right. The final stone in end number 5. Andrea Crawford looking to break the game open. Oh, and it's a hard sweep now from Babin and forward. Both of them hard at it.
Yep. They're trying to hold line here.
Gotta get by that center guard, ladies.
This could be costly.
Gotta get by that center guard. Oh, baby, that was close.
They nudged it, but
they got their 3.
They got their 3.
And a 5-2 lead for Andrea Crawford, just by the slimmest of margins.
Yep.
Through 5 ends at the 5th end break. We're going to take a few minutes and be back with more Scotties Tournament of Hearts curling from the Riverside Golf and Country Club in Rothsay in just a few moments.
Great.
You're watching the 2020 New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts on 360 Live, powered by Bell Line TV1.
Thanks, Sean.
Good evening once again, folks, and welcome back to the Riverside Golf and Country Club in beautiful Rothsay, New Brunswick. This is the 2020 New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts on 360 Live, powered by Bellline TV1. I'm Sean Thompson, joined up here in the booth by Stephen Thompson. 5-2. The defending champions, Team Andrea Crawford, has the lead over Sharon Levesque. A big, dramatic three-spot by Team Crawford. Just getting enough of a rub off a Team Levesque guard to roll into the house.
Yep, that could have been a bit of a turnaround there and unexpected, but they managed to hold the line. Welcome back to play here in the second half of this fourth draw.
Now, Stephen, what do you think the coaches will have talked about, and the teams for that matter, during the fifth end break?
Well, I think the teams are just saying, like, nothing's out of reach here for Team Levesque. They've got to keep their heads about them. And, of course, they're in a position where they need to start putting up some points. Team Crawford, I'm sure, has been counseled by their able coach, Darren Allen, to just kind of relax, make sure they make the shots, pay attention, and get job one done.
It may be time, I think, for Team Levesque to start playing a bit more aggressive.
Yep.
Their championships is at stake now.
It's true. They're the people that could be going home.
Another team whose championships are at stake, Team Cousins. And they have responded beautifully with the first steal of their game on sheet 3. A steal of 1 in the fifth end against Justine Como's team.
Yes. She was looking at 5 opposition rocks in that end and managed to chip one in behind cover at 4 foot and made it pretty well impossible for Como to respond.
So Team Cousins with the 7-5 lead, beginning the sixth end against Team Como. We got a couple of Crawford rocks in the house here early.
Yep.
And trying to make a play on it, Taylor Devlin.
Yeah. She's coming down. Just want to cross the center line right around the point of that guard out front. And I think the weight was a little bit suspect on this one. A bit on the suspect side here. So
just a little.
Yep.
Could come into play later in the end, but at this point, Team Crawford content to let it lie. As Jill Babin comes in for her first.
Yep. At this point, that's a confounder for Team Levesque. She's looking to lay one in on top of her rock on the tee line there, just making it difficult for Levesque to remove. Both of them for sure. The sweepers are on it. It seems like it might be a bit light, but they're going to bring it close. They will certainly bring it into the 12-foot, which is key.
Yeah. At this stage, it's functionally a guard.
Yep.
But it is forcing Sharon Levesque having a look. I think she's going to use one of Michelle Barkley's stones to get rid of it.
True enough that.
First stone for the second on Team Levesque.
Yep. Well, this one she set out just a little bit. Michelle is trying to bring this over with some directional sweeping.
They might catch the one at the back.
They're going to actually catch that rock at the back, then roll out of play. However, does change the complexion of the end. And ends up achieving the first goal just in a different way than what was expected. See, the fifth end is now complete over on sheet 1.
We'll
Paul
wait
Cole, the ice guy, is ably assisted by Vern Lister, who often comes to town to help with these events from St. Andrews.
And it's another steal.
Yep.
Team Sylvie Quillen has shut Sarah Millay out through 5 ends. 6-0. Quillen leads Millay through 5.
There you are.
This one's looking a little hot, but it's going to settle in nicely. Just bump the Levesque yellow back a couple of feet.
Right.
Sharon Levesque playing the Yellowstones. Andrea Crawford the red.
True enough that.
And it's the same call. Same call for Michelle Barkley.
The run back of that top Crawford stone there in the top 12.
Yeah, or even just peel it out.
Yep.
Just get rid of it.
Because it's the problem stone at this point.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming over. It's going to do the job nicely.
They got a clipper.
Well.
And they'll collect their own backstone.
Yep.
Shakes up the house, though. Still Crawford sitting 2.
That it does.
And I think trying to put another one in there is Team Crawford.
Yep. They're looking to replace that rock on that top 12. Just left of center as we look at it from the broadcast booth here at Riverside.
Yep.
Yes.
Sweeper's looking at it as you are on your screen.
Yep.
Bit of a sweep here to line it up.
You can see this walking sideways with some encouragement from Jill Babbitt.
It is all lined up.
Yep. Sharon says, Michelle, let's make that go away. Let's see what happens here.
Hit the call for Michelle Majot's first stone. 6th end.
This one's traipsing over hard and probably will be clipping that front guard. Nope. Yep.
Yep. Just papered it. And you could see the way head went back on Taylor Devlin there.
Yep.
Bit of frustration.
Yep. It's kind of hard to come back from a 3 spot with your head in the air and a smile on your face.
Especially against a team that has been on their game as much as this Crawford rink has been.
During these competition, yes, absolutely. And relatively dominant, I think, in most of the games she's played. Is that not correct, Sean?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Another good guard.
There you go. Some folks at home would say, well, the only loss that you don't want to have is in the last game. Would be a bad time for your first loss.
That would be a bad time for the first loss.
Yep.
I think Andrea would like to make it so that a good time for the first loss would be tomorrow morning.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Gets rid of the guard.
Or no losses at all wouldn't be a bad plan either.
And the shooter will roll out.
Yep. Did she not kind of run the board last year? Played 8-0. I think so.
I think pretty darn close.
There you are.
May have just tripped up once in the round robin, but that would have been it.
Well, that's possible. Yep. If anyone beat her, it would have been Team Malay.
Yeah. Either way, a win here tonight for Team Crawford will assure them a playoff spot.
Yep.
If Malay is able to reverse the 6-0 deficit on Quillen, then that, combined with a Crawford win, would put Crawford into the finals regardless of what happens in the last draw tomorrow.
Yes, well, Mark Ward would have to work some magic in that fifth end break to change the fortunes here on this game, I think, on sheet 1. Down 6-0 after 5. Need to bring a positive attitude into the second half of the game on that sheet.
Another guard and a change of tack here as Sharon Levesque comes down for her first of the end.
Yep. And she's looking to draw down here, I would say full 4-foot probably, close to the center line.
I think she might try to tuck into the button.
She does need to be shot once this stone is thrown. That is for sure.
Really, to have any chance of keeping the deuce alive.
Yep. Currently looking at 3 opposition rocks in the house, but fairly open as far as a draw to the button at this point.
No backing.
Nope. Just jumping off the cliff.
Shell Barkley and Taylor Devlin on it now.
Yep.
Trying to hold the line. It is pretty lively ice.
Yep. Just coming over here. This is more about the weight to get it here, I think. Bring it, bring it, bring it. Hard, hard, hard. That's right. They're getting there, but
Yeah,
it
count
is
one.
not shot.
Third shot.
Comfortably number 3, I would say, at this point.
Certainly number 3.
Yep.
And
Crawford has little discussion before deciding that covering that pathway up is the right answer.
no reason to do anything.
No.
On the
You and
stone
I
dress
would
road.
do the same thing on Wednesday nights in our regular rec league game, wouldn't we, Sean?
Indeed.
It's true.
Andrea Crawford. Looking to plug the hole.
Yep. Some shots
and
are
apply
no.
the pressure with her second stone in 6.
Yep. Shows the versatility of a elite caliber skip here, being able to throw the guard weight when necessary after just throwing nice takeout weight in many of her shots in this game. So they were hoping for this to curl over a little bit more. That's fine, though.
It does cut off the draw path.
Certainly does that. There's still a 2-wheel Daisy Duke shot there through the port. But I don't think they're not electing for this.
No, there's not a Daisy Duke shot. I think they were just looking, having a look, see who was second shot.
Yep.
I think shot stone on its own is pretty inaccessible given what's in front of it.
Yes. Yep.
Sharon Levesque looking to draw. A bite of the button will give him a point.
Yep.
Anything less will at least cut the arrears.
Exactly. So they just need to paper by Andrea's guard right of center, about midway in zones 2 to 3 there.
We think Crawford is sitting 2.
Yep.
This is Levesque's final stone.
There you
The
go.
last stone of N6. Hard sweep now from Barkley and Devlin.
Hard sweep. They need 2 for weight. Oh, no, they're
No,
coming off. They're coming
No,
off.
they got plenty of room. This has to move.
It really does.
It's got to move. Need a piece of the button.
It's not getting a piece of the button.
Oh, no.
and
How
it
far
rolls
back?
through.
And now,
Harmlessly out of scoring position at
now
least.
the looks, I think they're going to measure.
Well,
They're
it's 1 red.
1 red.
Jennifer taps the rock on the 4-foot.
1 red.
Yep.
Makes it 6-2.
There you are.
Andrea
And-
Crawford with the lead going into the 7th.
There we go.
You're watching the 2020 New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts on 360 Live, powered by Bellaline TV1. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you by Kruger Products, makers of sponge towels, by Papa John's Pizza, Sims Home Hardware, and the province of New Brunswick.
There you are. Winner of these proceedings this weekend goes to the 2020 Tournament of Hearts that's being held in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. And that'll be February 15th to 23rd.
Yep, and Team New Brunswick, as is usual in the main draw of the competition, will get at least one game on the big network, TSN.
There you go. Just
another part of the Bell TV family.
Awesome. So when is it, Sean, that we're going to hit the big time?
No comment. I can tell you, though, we'll be back on the air at least twice tomorrow.
Yes.
First at 9 a.m., we'll have the climax of the round robin. Our feature game here on Sheet 4 will be Sarah Millay and Justine Como playing for possible playoff positions. If the scores hold here, it could be a play-in to the semifinal. If a tiebreaker is required, it will be here at 2 p.m.
Yep.
Regardless of whether a tiebreak is required or not, we'll be on the air at 7 p.m. tomorrow night for the semifinal.
There you go.
So that's tomorrow at the 2020 New Brunswick Scotties.
Very good.
If you're further interested in top Atlantic Canadian women's curling action, our colleagues in Nova Scotia are bringing coverage of their Tournament of Hearts. Colleen Jones, the multiple-time national Scotties champion, playing beyond her years.
Yep, it's true.
So far in that event, that is also available through Bellline TV1.
Very good. Well, it would seem that on sheet 3, Team Como has managed to effect a 4 spot.
We'll wait for confirmation.
Okay, but that's the unofficial word at this point from the ice surface.
As Michelle Barkley looking to get rid of at least one of these Crawford stones. Barkley throwing 69% through 6 ends.
There you go. Looks like she's going to safely make at least one of these go away. They need to be on this. Unless this could
get
be double.
one, they'll get two.
They'll get both and hang around, albeit in the open side.
The hanging around, I think, is vital at this point.
I would say so.
Sorry, that was Taylor Devlin. Clearly, I need to count better.
It's all good.
And this is Drill
That's what
Babin.
our statistician is here to help us with these things, Sean.
Drill Babin curling 85% through 6 ends.
He may not be an accountant, but he can count.
Marginal improvement on the 4-end percentages. Hit and roll over. In case you were wondering how the percentages work, the statistician, Adib in this case, looks at each shot and grades it out of 4. Marks out of 4. From 0 to 4.
There you go. He says he picks a number from the air.
Yep.
Oftentimes the 0 may have a smiley face. Is that what happens?
A 0 is usually a complete miss, a complete just horrible shot.
Yep.
A 4 is an exact make.
Exactly, of the called shot.
In exceptional circumstances, a 5 may be awarded. Those are, as I said, rare. Exceptional.
Yes, exceedingly rare, I would say.
That is a shot that succeeds all wild expectations.
Yes.
And a solid draw there.
True.
As Drill Babin prepares to throw her second stone of the end.
Yep. I believe we have confirmation on that 4 spot for Team Como in number 6.
And we're up to 9-5. Como with the lead on Cousins. 9-7.
All good. All good. A hit called here, just making sure we get by the guard
And
with Joe Babin's shot.
just
which
off
they did.
nose.
Yep.
I forgot to mention the league comparisons through 6 ends. Taylor Devlin on 79% to Katie Forward on 88%. The team percentages through 6 ends. Team Crawford 85%, Team Levesque with Michelle Barkley now throwing 74% altogether. Again, trying the hit. They'll get a piece.
Yeah, no, it's going to come to nose here. The curl comes late on this particular shot.
It is open for Jen Armstrong.
Yep.
Jen improved 10 percentage points in the 5th and 6th ends, going from 69% to 79% for the game through 6.
Yep.
Katie Forward on the broom.
Yep. Looking to hold line here so that they make job 1 happen. A little roll wouldn't be a terrible thing. Right directly behind. Oh, peeking out on the far side.
Bit of an overroll, but still pretty buried.
Yeah, Sharon, I don't think is going to elect to try and come after it from the outside.
No, not at this point.
Her experience would tell her that that's probably not the best plan. Let's just tuck in next to it there.
Yep, Michelle Majot's first. She's on 75% through 6 ends.
Yep. Sweepers are on this one all the way down. They're concerned about weight, I think. Making sure they get by the guard first of all, and then down to that rock.
They're by the guard.
Oh, that they are. A little, you certainly don't want to, and they've come and sat right on that rock.
Yep, it's still Crawford sitting. At this point, Crawford leading by 4. That's probably the most important stat for Levesque.
Yes.
And an opportunity to split the stones with Jennifer Armstrong's second rock. Split the house, rather.
There we are, drawing to the open side.
I am getting my metaphors so mixed up.
It's okay. You have lots of sports in your head, Sean. As is usual. Sweepers are on this one out of her hand, and now they've kind of slowed down a little bit, picking them back up again.
Yep. Want to get a piece of the 8 here.
Want to get a piece of the 8.
Want to get full 8.
Yeah, it looks like they're coming up a bit light here.
Hard finish.
No, they're actually
How far can you drag it? Oh, that is close. I think they
close.
got it. They have it.
Very good. So they're sitting 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yep.
Number 2 is in the open. Sharon Levesque having a look.
Yep. Was toying with the idea of either hit and roll behind those 2 rocks or the double. I think she's electing
the same shot as the first.
To draw in and just have a better result. To be a piece of the 4-foot behind cover a little bit there.
I wonder about this one a little bit.
Could be a tap though too, right?
It could be.
That's a bit.
And that weight certainly seems tap weight.
Yep.
That's what they're indicating, the sweepers.
Yep. Get the 1 sweeper to hold line. It looks like they're behind or beyond. And what's happening here?
Oh.
A little paper and that's all.
A poor shot there all around.
Yep.
And
yep, that wasn't playing the percentages, I don't think, Sean. I think the draw would have been a better idea there, but that's why we're in the broadcast booth and they're on the ice.
I might have made the play on the open stone and then tried to roll across behind cover. Yeah.
Yep, which was her initial thought. You know, and if it's like the multiple choice test, always go with your first instinct.
Yeah. Because now Andrea Crawford coming back, shooting 90% through 6 ends.
Yep.
Best curler on the ice, Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
Look to draw in, bury this if possible, and leave her team sitting 3 and applying ever more pressure to Sharon Levesque.
There we go.
First Crawford Stone, N7.
That's when the sweepers are tentative on it. They're ready to go if they need to, if they think the weight's an issue. Certainly lots of room here. Looking a little firm, probably going to be back 4 foot.
This will settle right on top of the 4.
Yep.
You can nose that and sit shot. You can hit it off nose and get a little roll behind cover and sit shot.
That's what would look like is the indicated desired shot there. And we'll see what transpires from there. Here at the Riverside Country Club in Rothesay, New Brunswick, where you're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts. That's brought to you by 360 Live and powered by Bell Alliant.
Sharon Levesque offered an opportunity here.
That she is. Nice little hit and roll, and then it's a matter of what's the weight you want to throw? What are you comfortable with? They've had that discussion and made the decision. Sharon comes back, cleaning the ice in the path of her desired shot. And I believe Michelle Majot indicated that they were going to throw control weight here.
Okay.
Meaning up from board, but not normal sort of thing. So
Sharon Levesque needs points.
that she does, plural.
This rock will get her on the way.
And it will.
Levesque curling 73% through 6 ends. If you do the math on that, and if you've been paying attention, you'll know that Team Crawford has been out curling Team Levesque at every position through 6 ends. Team Levesque, Sharon Levesque will get the hit. How much of a roll? Oh, beauty.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love this.
Right on the 4 foot to sit 1.
Yep. Now there's a piece of that that's open that they could come after. They may decide they're electing otherwise. We'll see in just a moment.
Well, the way it's open is sort of deceptive. It's open only with this turn.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And you can't throw a bullet down there. You have to be able to get behind that guard, grab a piece. Both teams have their timeouts. They get 2 timeouts in regulation.
Right.
Daryl Nowlin seems content, I think, at this stage. Just let the ladies talk it out.
Yep.
And they are going to make a play.
Yep. Would seem like this is the right, feels right, and will end up being right.
Andrea Crawford, I think, is sensing the end of the fight.
Yep.
Her second stone. Forward and Babin ready to sweep.
This needs to curl some at this point, and Jill's encouraging that.
How much will it curl? Just need a piece of it, ladies. Just need a piece.
That's what she's got.
Oh, baby.
Yep.
Shooter rolls out, but it doesn't matter.
Nope.
Crawford is still sitting 2.
Sharon Levesque has the hammer.
Michelle Majot looking at the desperation shot to try to get 2. I don't think you can get the roll on the shooter to get the deuce, though.
Nope, this is fraught with risk. Just make your draw, take your one, and continue on. Know that you have 3 more ends to play.
The high fives from the front end.
Yep. Keep the mood light, that's for sure.
Sharon Levesque with a draw for 1. With the final shot in end 7. Here it comes. Michelle Barkley, Taylor Devlin.
They're watching this one as they go. They're helpless spectators at this point. Seems like this shot, they're contemplating.
Clean.
No. Contemplating.
Piece of the 4 will get shot. Jen Armstrong is
right
out.
there.
How
like
far back can she get it? How far back? Oh my. It's 1 for sure for Team Crawford. Yep. Is it a steal of 2?
Hard to say here.
They'll take a look. They can ask to measure.
Yep. And I believe that.
And I think it is going to be just the 1 red.
Yep.
But another steal is another point Sharon Levesque can't afford to give up. It's Andrea Crawford with a 7-2 lead on Sharon Levesque through 7 ends. This is the 2020 New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts on 360 Live, powered by Bell Line TV1. And our correction, it is 2 they're putting on the scoreboard.
Yep.
It's a steal at 2, so it's even worse than they hoped. Team Levesque having a discussion.
Yes.
Down 6 with 3 to play.
Yep.
Oh, it is desperation time out there for Team Levesque.
There you go. Sharon says never say die. Her teammates are okay. Let's go. Let's do this.
In the event this game ends early, we will take you over for bonus coverage on sheet 3. But our update right now is from sheet 1, where Sarah Millet's team from Curl Moncton have gotten on the scoreboard.
Yep.
2 with the hammer and 6, but it's Sylvie Quillen, Millet's clubmate from Moncton, still holding that 6-2 lead, playing 7. We are in the quick game. We're the only game of the 3 on ice in the 8th end. And a solid draw by Katie Forward. Taylor Devlin now knows that Team Levesque needs to manufacture a big end.
Yep.
If they do this right, this will be the last end they have the hammer. If they do it wrong, it's going to be the last end.
True enough that, John. True enough.
Solid center guard.
Yep. Andrea says, okay, fine, we'll come right around.
Kate Forward.
Yep. She's got the luxury here a little bit, so.
On sheet 3, 7th end brings the second steal of the game. And appropriately enough, it is a steal of 2 for Justine Como. Team Como now with an 11-7 lead on Team Cousins. I know Vegas doesn't offer odds on curling just yet, but I think it's safe to say the over has the day on sheet 3.
There you go. Here from the rugby grounds on sheet 3.
Yeah. Team Cousins, an unconverted try and 2 goals. Playing Team Cousins, a converted try.
Ah, there. Indeed.
Talking, of course, in rugby union terms, of course.
Yes. Because our fans at home would know the difference between union and sevens, right?
No, union and league.
Union and league. Excuse
Yeah.
me. Well, clearly, some of us in the booth don't know the difference either. Oh, a little bit of an unfortunate pick there. Emphasizing the importance of cleaning the rocks as they come down the ice.
And we are getting into the 8th end.
Yep.
You will see the ice, no matter how well it's prepared, start to wear a bit more.
Yep.
After it's had, about 60 some odd stones running over it.
True enough.
Per
yep.
team.
Yep. And of course, you also have 8 players running back and forth on this sheet for that length of time and dropping various and sundry bits of detritus, shall we say, on the ice, the flotsam and jetsam.
Yeah.
Little bits of rubber from grippers. Sometimes it can be bits of fuzz from clothing. Any number of things that can happen there that can influence the change in direction of a rock that we refer to as a pick.
Drill Babin will get the little tick.
Yep. Nicely behind cover here.
Yep. There is the possibility of a double here for Michelle Barkley.
Yep. Oh.
They're having a look here. Hit and roll, I think, is the call.
Hit and roll is more likely here than the double. The double's looking a little flat.
Doubles. Doubles looking a little flat.
Yep.
But it is there.
Yep.
And it is the point in the game where you have to pull out all the stops if you're Team Levesque.
Absolutely.
There's the hit.
And
roll
some
over.
Roll behind, yep.
Still Crawford sitting 1. Time, I think, to pick off the guards,
yep.
Says Crawford. A double peel there. It is possible with Drill Babin's second stone.
Yep. Really hard. This one looks like it might. Oh, no.
Nose and will
clear.
they spill them both?
Well,
not totally out of play.
No, that's an aggravating biter there on the top 12 in the right-hand corner.
It opens things up.
That it does.
Call for another sitter here.
A sitter honor, perhaps, as Terry King would say.
Michelle Barkley's second rock.
There you go. Might even have to be a corker.
Trying to use what backing it can, but this looks quick, and that's the indication from Michelle Majot and Taylor Devlin.
Yep. Looking to try and bring this across.
Majot, now Devlin joining.
Yep. Gotta bring it, gotta bring it, gotta bring it.
How far can you move it?
Running out of steam. Well, I almost think that is detrimental to their cause, but.
No, I think it's good.
Yep.
It makes it very hard to get rid of both yellow Levesque stones.
True enough, true enough.
And it also gives you the opportunity, if you wanted to, you still have the angle raise onto the shot Crawford stone.
Yep. We'll see what happens after.
Andrew Crawford just asking for a bit of cleanup from Jennifer Armstrong.
Yep. And I'm sure that Jennifer will be happy to oblige.
Rocks there are not necessarily to Team Crawford's advantage. Yep. And I'll get rid of one of the Levesque yellows.
Yep.
Shooter sticks around the fringes of the 12-foot.
Confounding at this point.
Crawford sitting 1, and some hand signals. Hand signals coming from the Majot, Barclay, and Devlin end of the ice, and they will call time to have a discussion.
This is the very first timeout that's been called in this game. Yeah.
What would you do here, Stephen?
I think that the rock on the forefoot is the trouble at this point, and I think that's what Michelle is looking for.
Yeah.
A little bit of roll behind cover wouldn't hurt anybody's feelings too much.
No, especially since the Yellowstone that is fully in the house, the Yellowstone in the 8-foot, is kind of an open target. It's directly behind a Crawford stone.
Yep.
Crawford's none to attach to any of her rocks at this stage. Up 6, you can have that luxury.
Exactly.
Separation here is key, especially if you can get it behind cover. The best thing about the position of Levesque stone in the 8-foot is that where it is directly or practically directly behind a Crawford stone, it takes away any chance of a double if the rocks are opposite side of the center line.
True enough that. So here we go. The play is being made on the rock on the forefoot, which the coach's corner up here in the broadcast booth agrees with that particular determination. Now all we got to do is make it happen. Yep. Sharon's calling him on quickly.
Gotta hold the line, ladies. Gotta hold the line.
This is trouble. This is trouble. But wait, what's going to happen here now?
What's going to happen is that Crawford is going to sweep Levesque yellow out of the scoring zone.
Yep.
I think the way things are sitting, Crawford is sitting 2.
Yep.
Third shot is on the opposite side of the 12-foot. Hit and roll or a nose hit and get the double, I think, is the call.
Yep.
Either would be acceptable.
Run back double here, I believe, is the call.
Second stone from Jennifer Armstrong. As Team Crawford prepares the Espada for the coup de grace. We'll get the hit and collect the one at the back.
Yep. So they're sitting 4 at this point. But not to worry.
I think the more important thing is Levesque isn't sitting.
Correct. And this is a point where she needs to be sitting some points or ready in position, have rocks that are in play. And right now, all of the rocks in play are the wrong color, with the exception of one in the back 12.
Michelle Majot's second rock.
Yep.
Hit the shot stone, roll behind cover.
This one's
Sweeper's
hanging.
called off.
It's hanging. Now they're trying to affect some curl on this one.
It's got to move.
Yep. Not rolling behind cover with this. Not in the side that they wanted anyway. Roll's very open here.
Hit. You don't even need the roll. They're calling for a roll onto the button. Or Andrea's calling for a roll onto the button.
Yeah.
But I think even Jen Armstrong knows even nose hit will suffice.
Yep.
And our first final of the evening is on sheet 1. 3 spot for Team Quillen. Gives Sylvie Quillen a 9-2 win over Sarah Millay. Handshakes after 7 ends. Quillen improves to 3-1 on the championships and is guaranteed at least a tiebreaker. Team Millay is 2-2 and must win tomorrow morning.
There
And there's the hit.
There's the hit, and a little roll outside as opposed to inside. Either way, the hit is, excuse me, the key. The discussion here is where to roll once you make this hit for Sharon.
Yeah. Sharon Levesque quickly running out of options.
That is true. But nonetheless, she marches back there with grit, determination, and moxie. The high five from her teammate. Grabs her stabilizer and makes ready to make the hit.
Gotta hope.
Gotta hope, gotta do.
She needs a win here. She needs Cousins to win next door on Sheet 3.
Yep.
She needs to beat Cousins tomorrow morning. And she needs help.
A lot of it, Sean. A lot of help. Because at this point,
Gotta keep this shot around.
Yep. Needs to come over. Oh, and it will stay around.
Andrea Crawford can sense this could be her last rock of the game.
Yep.
Open hit.
Yep. Open hit for at least 3.
Levesque has the hammer in this end.
True enough that, so yes.
So it's to sit, but if they can take away the multiple, that should effectively be it.
Well, we shall see here in mere seconds what the outcome of this is to be. Everybody's set, and the rock is in motion. Nice, solid, smooth delivery by Andrea's.
Andrea Crawford
is her trademark.
Trying to
Trying to hold this line.
make the professional hit here.
Yep.
No trouble.
No trouble at all.
Rolls into the collection to sit match.
Yep.
The fist bumps between Crawford and Armstrong. Sharon Levesque stands into the house, drawing for 1.
Mm-hmm.
The bare minimum at this stage.
That's right.
Final stone and number 8. Sharon Levesque needs a piece of the 8-foot.
Yep. Sweepers are on it.
Michelle Barkley, Taylor Devlin, called on by Michelle Majot.
Almost out of her hand.
They need white paint.
And they'll have white paint.
Will they? They're dragging it.
They'll
How
have
far
it.
can
They'll
you drag
have
it? How
They'll have
far can you drag it? Oh, just enough. Jen Armstrong takes a look, and it is 1 yellow.
Yep.
And Team Levesque remains alive.
She does.
Or, no,
Nope,
she's got the broom.
She's coming this
and
way.
She's
at least going to have a discussion with her teammates.
Going to talk with Michelle Majot. Figure things out. They're going to go.
They're going to go at least one more end.
I think. Hold on.
Oh,
I can't tell you the score after 8 ends.
Yep.
Andrea Crawford 8. Sharon Levesque 3. That's a 5-point deficit to make up in 2 ends against what I have to think is the best shooting team of these Scotties Tournament of Hearts so far. We do have an update from sheet number 3. The 8th end saw a single point for Karen Cousins, but it's still Justine Como holding an 11-8 lead. If that score holds on sheet 3, it won't matter what Sharon Levesque does here on sheet 4 on our featured game, because the Como win would eliminate Levesque from championship contention. Como would have to be one of the teams that would have to come back to 3 losses for Levesque to have a shot.
Yeah, I don't see that happening here.
No.
Nope.
Just the single sweeper there. Michelle Barclay appears to have come off the ice briefly.
Nope.
Jen Armstrong holding the broom for this first shot for Team Crawford in end number 9.
That's correct.
All's a draw to the button. Almost sort of practice for Kate Forward at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Devlin, 81% through 8 ends of curling. She's curled quite well.
Her numbers have steadily improved through the game, I believe, Sean.
Steadily improved, but pretty consistent.
Yep.
She has been the best curler this evening for Team Levesque. The best shooter, at least.
Yep. That lead roll is all important. I know back in the day we used to think, oh, well, we'll put our less experienced curler in the lead position because that those 2 rocks don't really matter. But as people's experience grows, we find the opposite is actually probably true.
You
got to get your end set up with great lead stones.
Yeah, you put in the lead position the player on your team best suited to throw the lead stones.
Correct.
Katie Forward, 89% through 6 ends. That's about through 8 ends rather, about the same as she was through 6.
Yep. Fairly consistent player here in this lineup of the Crawford team.
Yep. Just guard up that stone on the button.
Yep. No need to get fancy. We've got some room here.
No need to get fancy. And Team Crawford still playing with a steely determination. They're playing to score this end.
Yep.
A lot of teams, even elite teams in this situation, would go into sort of the prevent shooting mode, having the lead throw the first 2 stones through the house.
Uh-oh.
A slip up there.
A slip and a burned rock. But everything's okay. Nobody's hurt. So
that's just the kind of night it's been for Team Levesque.
Yep. There you go. And she's cleaning the bone matter up off the ice there. So the rock path is clear.
Clear for Jill Babin.
Yep.
Who's now given the chance to remove some of those guards.
Yep.
Babin curling 88% to Michelle Barclay's 77.
Mm-hmm.
Those numbers through 8 ends.
Yep.
We thank our statistician again, Adib Saman,
Absolutely.
for his fine work this evening.
Yep.
They get rid of their own guard after jamming the Levesque stone on it.
Yeah.
But it is still the Crawford stone on the button.
It is that.
It is still Crawford with the hammer.
Yep.
And it is still Crawford with a 5-point lead, 2 ends to play.
Correct. Sharon's looking at back 8 weight here and feels the rock will come across there with just enough to tap that rock of Andrea's from the button back to the 8-foot.
Levesque will
no,
need
they're
to
actually
steal
gonna-
this win.
Yep.
Looking to tap their own up.
True
If
enough,
they can
this is-
keep the
no.
line, they'll get a rub off their own.
Well, this worked out for them.
Worked darn close. It
Yep.
is a tight run thing, but it is still Crawford shot stone, as you could see from that angle there.
Very good. Very good. The folks at home hopefully are enjoying the coverage here from Rossay, the Riverside Country Club, where we bring you the 2020 Scott Tournament of Hearts New Brunswick edition. I'm Steve Thompson. With me is my son Sean, otherwise known as the voice of curling in New Brunswick. And we're happy to be broadcasting here
And that cleared everything
as
away.
all of the granite in the house went away. And Sharon is left to rebuild yet again.
Story of the game.
Yep. Michelle Majot is here, ready. I think the call here might be a bit of a split.
Majot curling 70% through 8 ends. Compare that to Jennifer Armstrong's 84%.
This is looking a little bit light here.
Sweepers trying to get it as far as they can, Barclay and Devlin.
Yep.
And they will. That's darn close to the house.
Yep.
Darn close to the house indeed.
Close enough that Andrea says it needs to go. And
True.
the angles are there that the double could
Truth
be
be told,
affected here.
truth be told, I think because the rock is in the same area code as the house,
Yes.
Andrea Crawford wants it gone.
Yep. We want anything that can score to be removed from play.
Just having a talk, Armstrong and Crawford,
Yep.
about the angles, and I think they're going to try for the triple peel. Try to empty it all out.
A little excitement for the fans in the house this evening, of which there are under 1 million, I am understanding. Should folks decide, they certainly have ample seating area downstairs, lounge here at Riverside, and the nominal fee for entry is a mere $2 per game, and I believe an event pass is available for 10.
And they will move a bit of granite around.
That they will. Time to get the splatter guards up on the other sheet there, just to keep things from spilling into the...
I think you can say that about both sheets.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Michelle
Michelle's
Majot.
drawing around all this traffic here. Seeming to be a little bit wide, but coming in. Sweepers are watching it. They're feeling it's maybe a little bit firm, but giving it some help, hoping to bring it across.
And they will get it partly buried
Yep.
onto the 4-foot.
There you go.
As Jennifer Armstrong is in the house. Armstrong curling 84%, as I mentioned, through 8 ends. Again, consistent performance. Win or lose now. And it is far more likely than not that this will be a Crawford win.
Yes.
Team Crawford's game against Sylvie Quillen tomorrow at 9 a.m. will be for first place, or will likely be for first place.
Yep. Snuck by the guard there and effected the hit.
Yep.
Now Sharon's having a look at what can I do here, and again this comes down to how does she get multiple points, and it seems that she's confounded at every turn by a return play from the Crawford team here.
And if you compare the skip percentages, you'll see why.
Yes.
Levesque curling a perfectly serviceable 72%.
Mm-hmm.
But Andrea Crawford is the best curler on the sheet tonight, 92%. It's hard to lose many games when your skip is curling 92%.
Right. Because generally speaking, if you're curling 92%, your strategy isn't one that lacks in finesse.
First skip stone, Sharon Levesque. Cheryl Barkley, Taylor Devlin. Having a look, see this
trying
needs
to
to
get this
move
to
over.
curl, and it is just being stubborn. They're going to catch a piece of it, I think, but not much.
Get a piece, not enough to remove it from play.
Nope.
Which kind of the story of the match, maybe the story of the event.
Just the wrong side of the inch.
For Sharon Levesque.
A little too late kind of thing. And they're just looking to protect the forefoot here in this particular instance. Oh, and then Jen says, oh, let's get... There's this possibility for the last shot.
Yeah.
But you want something 8 foot right to center, just blocking that pathway into that forefoot. And the all-important button.
Team Crawford seems to be playing as much to keep their focus, as much to keep sharp.
Yep.
As to win this game.
Absolutely. Well, there you go.
It's a team that's not putting their foot off the accelerator.
No siree. Don't get to national by coasting.
Gentle
So
brush.
The weight's there. They're just looking for it to curl a little bit.
Babbing
So
it forward.
seeming to be maybe a piece of the forefoot that they owe. Nope.
Nope. Come.
Not bad if you hate perfect, Sean.
Just about on the center line. It'll make the draw quite difficult.
That it will. Yep. So
For
she's
Sharon
still
Levesque.
Sharon's got the opposite side draw here.
Opposite side draw.
Still got to make it, but it's there.
Needs full 8 foot to sit. You'd love to be behind cover.
That you would.
But cover may well be relative in this end.
True enough that. You almost need to be behind cover because Andrea has the hammer here.
Well, even if you are behind cover, you can get
there's
any
some
angle.
potential angles there to cause you trouble.
Hard sweep now from Taylor Devlin
Girls are worried
and
this
Michelle
is light.
Barkley.
They're concerned it's a bit light.
For good reason.
Yep.
It is a bit light. How far can they drag it?
Nope.
Need a piece of the 8? No. Oh,
I
no.
would say this is game over here in a minute, but that's... Oh,
It is
I
game
believe
over.
We're seeing concession here
Yeah.
on
You can
sheet 4.
put a nominal 2 on the board.
Yep.
For Team Crawford, but really it doesn't matter, and rather anticlimactic finish.
Yep.
Andrea Crawford improves to 4-0 in these championships with a 10-3 win. Another impressive victory over Sharon Levesque from the Capital Winter Club. Team Crawford from the Gauge. And that means Andrea Crawford, they will be in the playoffs. They're 4-0.
Yep.
If they win tomorrow morning, of course, they will have the bye through to the championship final on Sunday. And for Team Levesque, 0-4, they'll be playing a 5th place game tomorrow morning on sheet 2 against Karen Cousins. Team Cousins may have yet something to play for They're playing the 10th end now. We hope, and we do have some footage of that game now. We're waiting for them to put the 9th end on the scoreboard.
Yep.
It was 11-8, as you can see. Team Como leading Team Cousins after 8 ends.
Yep.
The fact that Team Cousins is throwing
They're throwing
the
second.
second stone of the
Yes.
end means that it was either a blank end or Como stole.
Yep. And we'll soon find that out.
Como scored